Zondervan presents The Heart of Memory by Alison Strobel, read by Emily Durante. Chapter 1. Knowing there was always someone watching her at these conferences, Savannah Trover kept her mouth moving as the crowd sang along with the worship band. She wasn't on stage yet, but sitting on deck with the other speakers made her nearly as visible. She was just glad no one had heard when her voice had given out with a squeak on the last verse, and hopefully no one around her noticed she wasn't actually singing anymore. "Lousy timing, God," she prayed as she took a casual glance to the door behind her. Where was Marissa? Savannah went on in 10 minutes and wouldn't have a voice to teach with if she didn't get some Ricola and water soon. The song ended and a new one began, admonishing her to trust in the Lord. Shame on me. Thanks for the reminder. She straightened her shoulders and mouthed the words to save her voice, while she tried not to panic that she'd bomb when she took the stage. A hand on her arm startled her from her thoughts. Marissa held out a bottle of water and an unwrapped lozenge. "Sorry it took so long," she whispered. Savannah smiled and waved away the apology as she took the lozenge. Marissa always knew exactly what she needed. Savannah wished the ministry could afford to give her a raise. She certainly deserved one. Marissa pulled Savannah's phone from her pocket and handed it to her. "Shaun texted 3 times while I was in the dressing room. I figured it must be important if he was trying to reach you when he knows you're teaching this morning." Savannah drained half the water, then popped the lozenge and took the phone. "Leather-bound exec checkbook. Can't find it. Know where it is?" She frowned. "Didn't know we had one. Sorry." She handed it back to Marissa with a shrug. "I don't even know what he's talking about." Marissa pulled a small bag from her purse. "I've got 1 dose each of zinc, echinacea, vitamin C and D, and garlic. Want any of them?" Savannah glanced at her water, then held out her hand. "I'll take them all. Might as well." She chewed down the Ricola, then swallowed the handful of capsules. The band reached the final chorus, and she quickly reapplied the lipstick Marissa offered her, then closed her eyes and took a deep breath. Adrenaline was kicking in, soothing the dull ache behind her eyes and chasing away the feeling of uneasiness that came with knowing her immune system was being hacked. The song ended, and a moment later the lights dimmed and the opening video illuminated the screen behind the stage. Savannah closed her eyes again, centering herself and spending one last minute in prayer. "Just get me through the day, Lord. Keep my voice and body strong. I don't care if I'm sick for the rest of the month. Just keep me healthy today." She stood and straightened the ruby-red jacket of her pantsuit before climbing the stairs to the stage. The video ended, the audience burst into applause, and the lights came up, activating the performer in her. "Thank you, ladies," she called out, waving and basking in the heat of the lights and the attention of 5,000 women hanging on her every word. "And welcome to the last day of this summer's Women of the Word conference." More applause, and her impending cold was forgotten. For the next 40 minutes, Savannah was home. Shaun Trover ran a hand through his hair and stared hard at the floor. "Think," he muttered. "Come on, think." He walked back to his den and pulled open the bottom drawer of his desk, the spot where the checkbook should be, and where he had already looked 3 times. Still empty. Of course it is. Come on, think. He sat down and scrolled through his online calendar, looking for something that might remind him of the last check he'd written, and there it was. He closed his eyes, walking step by step through that afternoon. The phone rang, just as I pulled it out of the drawer. The sudden memory made him smile. Finally, some hope. I remember taking that message on the kitchen counter. He'd brought the checkbook with him as he left the office to track down the cordless that was not on its base on his desk. He went back to the kitchen to look again. "Hey, Dad." Jessie jerked open the fridge. Shaun jumped. "I thought you were at work." She smiled as she opened the orange juice. "I don't leave for another 5. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to scare you." "It's all right. Hey, you haven't seen a big leather binder, have you? About this big?" He held out his hands, indicating the size as he...
Sample complete. Ready to continue?